This is logical psychiatry. Um, as I've been working through many different things, and yes, I made one particular logical psychiatry video, but I'd say this one would be pretty much both logical psychiatry as well as Mgtow. The one thing though too is that I'm gonna be going by speaking psychologically speaking, as well as mentioning base of Mgtow here. And let's start with for the Mgtow side of it is that we've been dealing with in the Mgtow manosphere many different things. And yet we've been judged for many different things. Let's see, when I'm going to say the possibly still former uh, Brandon King declared no longer to be Mgtow. And then before him it was Alec Fleming. And of course I found out a few other things, but a few other aspects to it. And that is that one other loyal Mgtow member also skipped the manosphere. And no, it's not because of what you heard, if anything, from Brandon King. There's going to be instability in any group setting. Be that even if you're new, semi-new, whatever, or even if you've been with the group in for any number of months, days, years, whatever. Um, but there's always going to be a support structure. And how I know this is simply because I've dealt with many different types of groups, even before Mgtow. And I've learned a lot in my lifetime. And I'm no Einstein. I'm not Dr. Spock. I'm not Dr. Phil. Although I know many people have said, "Okay, Dr. Phil, what else do you want to say?" Type of thing. But the one thing is that it's a good thing for the fact that I have the knowledge that I have, and no, it has nothing to do with age. That's more than a common misconception. Just because of a person's age, that they think that it's going to be where they have what's known as wise knowledge, and be that, of course, due to their experiences on this planet and various other things. That's an old cliche as well, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can still have the same amount of knowledge that I have even currently. And I've used this particular knowledge even in the Mgtow manosphere. And even outside the Mgtow manosphere, even before the Mgtow manosphere. I have used it in the general aspect in which I still am doing, even in the Mgtow manosphere, of helping those who truly want to be helped. And while in the Mgtow manosphere, I could say that we've had many different types of people who have justified us as something that we're not. Like, oh, we hate women, or Mgtow hates women, or they're just upset because they can't get any pussy, or they're just upset because they can't do this, or or no woman will go with him, or any given numbers of judgmental, sinful crap. But the basic fact is that in a spiritual sense, many people should know this. I don't care. I don't care if you're Mgtow or not. And it doesn't matter if you're Mgtow or not. Doesn't matter if you're a Mgtow hater. Doesn't matter if you're what you call a blue, what we call in Mgtow a blue pill simp, mangina, purple pill, beige pill, in the sense of being married to a woman, due to the fact that many men also consider them being suckered into shit sometimes, not all the time. It could be any number of reasons. Really. The one thing is that yeah, it's a new thing. But the reason for Mgtow is not a negative. The reason for Mgtow for men is always been a positive. Just like the reason with the fact that I have the knowledge that I have in the sense of psychology, and why I have a Facebook page by the name of Logicalphychiatry. Because I have the knowledge to help people, and I've used it by helping people through things and with things and to better understand things. I could do the same thing in a logical psychiatry sense with the fact that I found out, and it's surprising that we have a particular blue pill simp known as McHenry going against least of all one, if not two or more of our Mgtow members for his own little personal vengeance or enjoyment or both, thinking that he can break him down. Mm-mm. The one thing is, what McHenry doesn't realize, with the fact that I have talked to McHenry outside of Mgtow on the ever well-known, see if I can find it here, on the ever well-known app of Instagram. I know his psychosis. He didn't even have to say it like he did on the question and answer video of his. Or if you want to put an abbreviation in the Q&A of McHenry's video, or at least one of his videos. The basic fact is that I know how to deal with people that have what's known as schizophrenia or even paranoid schizophrenia. It doesn't matter if it's borderline or not. And yes, there are those who have that plus bipolar plus what's the other one? What's known as manic depressive. There are those that have also a tied in thing of Asperger's and various other things. And also what's known as attention deficit disorder, or ADD, to better put it. With that, they find ways to, and this is a logical psychiatry part of it, with that, they find ways to better fit into society. And one of many reasons, and I know not all of them, if any, even at first, will admit it, and that is simply that they won't openly admit it because they feel if they admit it, then no people will lose respect for them, and thereby they would start judging them and making fun of them and various other things, right? But even if they do, who cares? That just shows that the people who once respected you for putting, even as you put on a persona of someone you're not, versus someone that you are, and which is still a normal human being, regardless of the disorder and diagnosis. You are still a normal human being. Don't let anybody else try to convince you of otherwise. But at the same time, what McHenry doesn't realize is that he's still a human being. He doesn't have to put a persona as if he's the God's gift to women when he's not. No man truly is God's gift to women. They can believe it all they want, but guess what? In even a psychiatric aspect, and I know I've said it in many, if not just a few, of my videos of logical Mgtow, especially, is that women could see right through the male persona, and they can see right through McHenry's persona. They can see right through anybody, even like McHenry, that act like they're the God's gift to women, or what McHenry said to me one time on Instagram, saying that he's a hero for women when nobody's really a hero for anybody. All you can do is help them out, really. But helping them out by trying to tear down a manosphere such as Mgtow is not a way to go. That's more of saying, oh, the men that are part of the Mgtow manosphere have no right to be, as if it's going against the Constitution when it's not. We have a right to join a grouping such as Mgtow, just like the women of today have a right to join groups such as the feminist movement and the Mgtow movement and various other so-called female type support groups and book groups as well. Thereby, McHenry is going about it the most sinful way ever. Instead of accepting the fact that men are going to Mgtow, and if he and I've said it before, if you want to stay blue pill, if you want to be a subservient blue pill, purple pill, beige pill to women, or in other ways of saying simp, that's your right. That's your right. But the ones that have had enough of the feminist female manipulations and such like that, and also the trying of the female trying to control the male, and yet we felt that we were accepted by the female at first, even in the dating process. But obviously, we were more than sadly mistaken. Thereby, the feminist movement of today wants it to be where obviously the society is, shall we say, back to the matriarchal society, which is the society that was known as the female dominated society. Yet that was more than hundreds of years ago. Something went awry. Something went to the points to where it was unbalanced, to where something had to rebalance it, in which basically, for be told, the male dominated society label came to be at some point or another. Thereby, everything seemed to be well balanced for a while. Then, of course, even after many years after the ERA feminist movement of the 1970s, things started going to the points of more than disarray, more than the aspect of unbalance of control and acceptance and such like that. At least in accordance to what the women have felt and directed things to. In which why the aspect is that the courts, it's been saying that women have the courts, in which basically why the divorce rate has gone up, and which why many men have ended their lives because they were ripped away from their children and told that they could not be around their children as much as they were when they were first married and when the child was, say, first born, or any number of children, really, in that sense. And with that, the courts, as well as the current labeling of the feminist woman, has made the man feel less of a man and hasn't really paid attention to the negative effect, thereby only concerned on what the fact that she was better, getting better within herself and for herself, even when it came to the income that was percentage of the income that was ripped away from the man, starting with his resources, as well as what comes from his income or wallet, for that matter. And this is not a just judgment or justification, but this is reality. Many women will turn away and deny it. I know that. Psychologically speaking, I already know that. The aspect of it is that Mgtow does not hate women. We do not have any hatred towards women at all. And yes, when I say we, I'm part of Mgtow. That's my choice and my right, and if anybody can accept it, cool. If you can't, then you're not worth my time. I can accept many things and many people, even the ones that are going against the Bible. But spiritually, I can't, because I am a spiritual person as well. But when it comes to humanitarian advocate, in which I am as well, I can't accept a person, even if they're going against the Bible, in the sense of if you are one that is a same-sex married person or dating the same sex. That's your choice. That's your given right. As a humanitarian advocate, I will back that up. But as a spiritual person, I hope you understand that I cannot. So there's basically two halves to that, really. So generally now we have the fully admitted aspects of McHenry. I know possibly even after this video he may take that question and answer or the Q&A video down. Who's to say if he does or doesn't? Because he actually admitted he has the basic psychosis in which I thought in which I kind of already put in perspective, which is paranoid schizophrenia. Although there could be other added aspects to it that he hasn't mentioned. It's okay if he only mentions only one. Hey, that's okay. That's his right. I'm saying this as one that knows in the logical psychiatry. And I'm saying that as in the logical psychiatry part of it. But on the Mgtow part of it, McHenry doesn't realize that, or is basically choosing to ignore that we accept him for what his choice. And Mgtow does accept him for his choice, but he doesn't need to be a complete idiot about it. I could say a complete prick about it, but I'm not going that way. Although I just said it. But anyway, But I'm not going that way either way. So basically, you can basically say that I didn't say the P word essentially. The one thing though too is those men who choose to not go Mgtow. Hey, we we accept that. We support that. Brandon King, if you want to be no longer Mgtow but still try to follow the Mgtow philosophy and whatnot, or the way as you call it, um, that's your right. As a humanitarian advocate, I will back that up. But do know, and I'm saying this in a logical psychiatry aspect, Brandon King, of what and why made you feel that you had to drop the MGTOW acronym. You're probably still wondering in the back of your head, especially. And yes, that can happen to many people, even you, as young as you are. And that's part of being human. The basic fact is everybody has something in the back of their minds that they're not always thinking about 100% of the time, if that, or even every so often or so, right? Now, outside of that, we've had many that seemed pretty normal, but I'm sure they've had their own reasons for going against Mgtow, but not very logical because they are not really taking the time to really read the book, see what it's about, watch the fucking movie for one. Although the movie may not tell the full story, because sometimes the movie tells way less than the book in many different instances. Sometimes the movie says more than the book, sometimes too. It all depends. Um, but the one thing is that, again, just to clear everybody's mind, we MGTOW do not hate women. I don't know what else we could do or say without exiting the MGTOW manosphere, because we won't, especially in today's day and age because of the feminist movement, and many women still have said men should do what we women want them to do. Men are supposed to be gentlemen. Men are supposed to be this. Men are supposed to be that. Men are supposed to be the way we women want them to be. Doesn't work that way, ladies. If you can truly accept a man for who and how he is, doesn't matter, and it should not matter of how much money he makes. It should not matter of how much he has even currently, or how he makes the money, or and the way he lives, or anything else for that matter. As long as it's clean and everything, and as long as he bathes, that's the important thing. I'm sure. Yes, I know. That's okay. That's understandable. But you cannot justify, well, he's not giving me what I want on my timeline. That's very illogical and very sinful. We men don't do that. Be that we men don't do that to women. We, as Tom Micah says, and this is a big top part of it, as Tom Micah says, that that women already know what we want. Just open your legs at 10 and 2. But there's more to that, though. We want to be respected and accepted for who and how we are. Women want to be accepted and respected for who and how they are. But the one thing is that the true base of this feminist movement is, as I said, they want control, like if it was a matriarchal society. They won't admit it, but that's the feminist and Me Too objective. The Me Too movement objective, as well as the current feminist movement objective. And as I said, I cannot explain what and why it went to more than disarray for the matriarchal society to where it was more than unbalanced and to where it had to be restructured as and relabeled as the male-dominated society. There might have been reason, but who's to say? The only people who know are possibly our ancestors of that time. That's the only logical perspective that there is. And with that also, the other aspect is that one needs to realize the aspect of well, the aspect of where the um where the way things are can get better. With you don't need a damn feminist movement. There's ways to compromise without doing each other in psychological aspects. And with that, there's no reason for women to think that they're not being paid attention to. Oh, believe you me, women have been paid attention to more than what's logically needed, especially even psychologically needed. The basic fact is that women have been even said. It's been said that women have acted like little fucking children, in which basically is not a farce. It's not to the point of being untrue. Women have gotten to the points to where, like for example, if a child has been spoiled enough, then as they grow and if they're continuously spoiled, then yeah, they're gonna grow to the points to where they expect things to happen for them and on their timeline. Thereby they'll have expectations that are not realistic. That's going on the base of psychological aspects as well as real reality. Thereby, if you women don't agree with that, hey, have fun being single, or have fun getting with the same gender as you are. But at the same time, if you do that, you'll be going against the Bible of having fun with the same gender you are in a marital aspect, and which is basically unfortunately accepted in the United States so far in various states. The one thing is also the general fact of Mgtow is simply to protect men from suicide attempts, from overdose aspects, from feeling that they're not human because of a horrific experience in marriage and or relationships that they that may have come like even unexpectedly to start with and emotionally which is emotionally heart wrenching and emotionally you know wrenching in other aspects and levels. There's also been for example, one of our Mgtow brothers, besides myself, saved a life. But this was recently. The person I saved the life of, was many years ago. Of course, I could have easily saved a life, but in a different aspect. Today, which I have yet to find out, but I don't know. Anyway, I will find out eventually, I'm sure. The one thing though too is, let's see, the person in question that the Mgtow brother, and I'm out of respect, I'm going to leave his name out of it. Even his acronym name through Mgtow. And he did save a life, although there might be some other aspects that he may need to look on maybe visit the person in question, them, and maybe spend time with them, hang with them, do things with him. Which basically, I know that that's one of many ways to help a person through things, especially when it comes to divorces and or separations or any given number of emotional psychological reasons. The one thing also, with this, you don't have to go to the points of absurdum though on this. Just do it when the person feels ready to do it. I mean, like a male bonding aspect. You know what I mean? The male bonding aspects. And also with the male bonding aspects goes to the points of showing that you are there for him to help him out emotionally and psychologically, and many Mgtow members should know this. Many Mgtow members should know this. I can help people inside and outside of Mgtow. I know I know the base of psychology a lot better than many people realize. I've helped many people outside and before I became a Mgtow member. Thereby, I've basically had it to where from the points to where they understood everything from what I was helping them through. Then the rest is up to them, because we only can help them so far, and we can't just say, well, and we can't be with them like the rest of their life saying, oh, no, no, I wouldn't do that. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Oh, maybe not. That sort of thing. This goes for women too, though. Women can do the same thing. Women can help other women. I've seen many women do it, but sometimes women do it to the points to where they don't really need to be too abrupt into it. You know what I mean? That's a logical psychiatry side of it, as well as Mgtow side of it. So it's half and half on that aspect. And even those men that are not in Mgtow can do the same thing. But at the same time, don't act like you're better than the other person. Don't because your situation may be a little bit better than theirs. Don't put it in their face. Even though they may say it's okay, it's not bothering. But yeah, guess what? In a way, if they think about it when you're not around, they will take it that way as if it does bother them. Guaranteed. They won't admit it, but even after a number of times or a number of days, whatever. But it is. And I apologize for raising my voice. I wasn't angry or nothing, but I'm just saying. I'm saying this because I got noise from on the other side of this wall behind me. And also, the Mgtow manosphere is there to help men, even that have gone through relationships and hardships. Granted, we don't really go to the points of lending money to even other Mgtow. We can guide you to the right way, but for example, we had what who I mentioned by the name of Alec Fleming. He then used the Mgtow acronym to make money off of his followers on his content. With the using the Mgtow acronym, bad move. The Mgtow acronym is not a money making scheme type of thing. Yet Alec Fleming used it as such. And yes, Alec Fleming could possibly still be seen on YouTube, or any other uh, social media video content that he could easily be a part of, or even ones that allow video on social media. The one thing is that Mgtow is a support and and help through emotionally help through grouping of many people who have gone through the same thing that we men have gone through. We Mgtow men have gone through, especially in relationships, and of course there's maybe one or more Mgtow members that um, have not gone into the base of relationships, but at the same time joined and supported the Mgtow manosphere philosophy because they believe and they've seen the negative effects that men have gone through even while in relationships. That's understandable. That's accepted. And basically, in a psychological aspect and a logical psychiatry aspect, if McHenry wanted me to help him out, I could. Not in the sense of exchanging money, though. And the way I can is by hearing his troubles and helping him psychologically. I've done that with everybody, even before Mgtow. That's the truth. And I've done it even for females that are not in relationships with me. And done it for the women who I have been in relationships with me in the past. That was my past. Would I do it? Would I do it again for a woman? The only people who I would do it for are those who I know in the female aspect that have no connection to the feminist movement. And there are many women like that, surprisingly, from what I found. But yet they, at the same time, they support in their own way without joining into the crap of the feminist movement. But of course, that's the logical psychiatry part of it. And I can say those who truly don't understand Mgtow really need to really watch the videos until they have a better understanding instead of even blatantly going against us like McHenry has many times. And yes, McHenry, I've mentioned your name more than once. Yeah, I get that. But I don't need no derogatory video against me because I'm using the Mgtow acronym as well as the logical psychiatry acronym. And that is the base to where I'm in showing that I of the knowledge that I have, which is the logical psychiatry aspect, and also the support I have for the male grouping known as Mgtow, men going their own way, straight men going their own way. And yes, there is one downfall that one of our former now no longer members of Mgtow um, said in relation to McHenry. And that was, of course, by the name of Brandon King. And of course, he's young. He's still having his own way of understanding. This is not an attack or hate against him either. But and I know many people may have taken this the wrong way. This is why I'm mentioning it. And that is that when he mentioned McHenry, and then he mentioned Mr. Hate Vicious, a person by the name of Mr. Hate Vicious. I'm not going to say who. Then, and I'm not going to say what side of who's a part of what on this aspect, seeing that I've named the names already. And it was, to me, and of course, everybody has a misunderstanding of things. That's normal. That is normal. But it was to me at first, the way he came about it, the way he came out about it was as if both were gay. And I've explained this to one person already. And that one person will remain nameless. That person knows who the person is. And I still respect that person too. And I always will. But in any case, I explained that to that one person of why I said what I said in the video. And I wasn't attacking or roasting Brandon King. I was basically trying to get his attention, and with that aspect, I was getting to the point as a Mgtow member to make sure that he wasn't a fake or a phony or whatever, you know? That's it. And with that, also, with that, with him being a Mgtow member, I was also trying to get his attention to welcome him in my own way at first, to welcome him into the Mgtow manosphere. Yet when I tried to explain it the best way I could, thereby he took it as an attack. Thereby he lit the first match. And I know I've mentioned this on my logical psychiatry video that I made maybe no more than maybe a few hours ago or an hour and a half ago. And thereby he started trying to go against me. And he used my advocate acronym. I didn't use his acronym. He doesn't have an acronym. The only acronym he had was Mgtow, and I'm part of Mgtow. Where's the logic in that? There's no logic. But yet he took it as such, so I had to do what had to be done, which was defend myself. He thereby gave up after about a couple hours or so. He dropped the Mgtow acronym. I didn't mean it. Didn't. I wasn't. It wasn't meant for him to do that. All it was is that I was trying to get through his head was that, as Mgtow member anyways, that I was going to welcome him into the Mgtow manosphere. Yet at the same time, the reason I mentioned that he was a blue pill is because I wanted to make sure that he was part of the Mgtow manosphere. And I explained this whole thing to one person already. But of course, with the fact that Brandon King wants to stay away from Mgtow, thinking that we always attack our own, which we don't. What we do is make sure that the person that comes into the Mgtow manosphere is not a fake or a phony. And also, in another aspect, we are going, and I'm going to make sure that this happens to where that that the new one doesn't go into the points of what the way Alec Fleming did, because Alec Fleming used the Mgtow acronym for his own selfish personal benefit of making money off of other people, and that's not the way of Mgtow. Psychologically speaking, McHenry has a psychosis. Mm, Aside from being paranoid schizophrenic, borderline, or any given level, or even or even moderately high. But also he could go to the points of also having ADD. Well, that's psychologically speaking on logical psychiatry side of it. But the basic fact is, again, McHenry may take this as an attack, but it's not an attack. It's logical psychiatry. And logical psychiatry doesn't not attack. And we at logical psychiatry make sure that people understand things. And we're not judging or assuming that people don't understand things, but there's a lot of things that people um, that there's a lot of people that may not understand why things happen and various other things, especially when it comes to psychological aspects or even the diagnosis or psychosis aspects and what have you. And again, that's not a judgment, but I'm just telling you straight out, be honest, from what I've noticed, especially. The other aspect is, I can say I have helped a person that's a YouTuber, if you want to call it that. But it's up to her if she wants, if the person wants to, if the person wants to take it or not. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna hold it against the person. And again, even that person will remain nameless. Mm. Now, many YouTubers know now that McHenry has a record. He didn't really have to divulge that information. That, although though granted he did, that's his choice. But even when people know that a particular record, it could also be used against him. That can easily turn into the points of being more than unfortunate. The one thing is also you really do now understand the aspect of me. Those who can accept me for who and how I am, being that one, I'm a Star Trek fan, as you can plainly see. I'm a fan of the Oakland Athletics baseball team. I'm a fan of the San Francisco 49ers, San Jose Sharks. And it doesn't mean I live in California either now, does it? A person could be in a different state and still be a fan of those teams. And I'm also a fan of the Utah Jazz. Doesn't mean I live that in that state now, does it? The basic fact is that you can be a fan of any team, even if it's not in the same state you are. That's still accepted. Because that is the American way to start with. You can be a fan of any team to start with. You can feel what you feel, which is normal for many of us. In fact, the entire population in this country and this globe, all over the globe, that is, especially. But the one thing is also speaking spiritually as well as psychologically, one cannot assume that you can judge another and think that you'll be forgiven right off the bat, even after the fact. Say, for example, you judge a number of people a number of times, right? Then you pray in repentance, right? Then you do it again, continues. We were not put on this planet spiritually to judge and negatively assume. The only two beings that one of them was on this planet before our time, and that's our Savior Jesus Christ. But He, as well as our Heavenly Father, can be the only two that can logically judge the human being, the human soul, the human base of existence was not said by Heavenly Father, thou can judge as many times as you want and you will not be sinning for it. He did not put that in the Bible. Yet I know that many people know that the Bible, there's been a Bible that was rewritten from the original Bible in the most illogical, sinful aspects of trying to outdo the original Bible. Whoever created that concept of a Bible will go straight into the points of the pits of hell, speaking spiritually. And that's no judgment, that's a basic spiritual fact. Those who keep on sinning, like do the points of adultery, male or female, continuously. And those who do other people wrong is also a sin. And if they keep on doing that shit, then you'll have your soul lead you straight into the pits of hell, spiritually speaking. Those that you assume to be like your family members, you will be going to the pool into the pits of hell. If you continuously do that, even after repenting, or even if you don't repent the first number of times, after the first number of times that is. Because even after you say things that are negative and sinful, the first number of times, it doesn't matter how many times it is, right, or has been, then you repent in prayer. Then you continuously do it after such, which seems to be the human norm, obviously, to some people, if not many. You will be leading your soul. Your soul will be leading you to the pits of hell. Have you heard of the base of Armageddon? Many biblical readers have said the base of Armageddon is near. And you may think I'm crazy for saying this, but I'm not. I've heard it, and in some general aspects, there's various different signs that have been showing themselves, even to biblical understanding. And it is said that the human race may not last as long as Roddenberry's vision even says. In the sense of the Star Trek series. Star Trek series from the original to the Next Generation to DS9 to Voyager and beyond. Now that's a freaky thought, isn't it? It's something to think about. Just like the ones that have had quakes, it's better to be prepared than not. The ones that have tornadic things going on, or even hurricane aspects of things going on from various different parts of the season, and each one has a different season, a seasonal, shall we say, weather aspects, right? Than many other states. But it's always better to be prepared. I'm not saying prepare for the worst, just be prepared, because the worst can happen. That's logically speaking. the worst can be turning into the points to where you, as well as your family members, as well as many people who you know, are nowhere near the base of being in the worst scenario or situation. But there is a saying still that the birth rate is going down a lot quicker than, say, the marriage rate. I'd say the marriage rate is pretty much at a standstill or mid-level. The birth rate, however, is still on a downward spiral. Even the members of Mgtow have said it more than once. The birth rate is going down and has been for some time. Could it be because of the current feminist movement and the Me Too movement trying to re-educate our youth into believing the feminist bullshit instead of the realistic aspects of things and letting the child decide for themselves when they get older? Or is it the fact that the feminist movement thinks that it's justified, not sinful, but justified for the educational system to teach them, oh, it's okay to be homosexual, oh, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be lesbian, it's okay to be bisexual and whatnot else, right? But it's never okay to be straight. That's essentially what you're saying by forcing that fucking base of lifestyle. If the child, be that teenager or not yet teenager, especially, wants to stay straight, but yet you force the fact that it's okay to be certain various other ways when it should be their choice instead of it being shoved down their damn throats metaphorically, then think about the Constitution, because you by forcing things down a person's throat, especially educational wise, you're going 100% against the Constitution. And I will not stand for that, not even as an advocate. I will not stand for that as an advocate. I will not stand that for as a, I will not stand for that as a human being, as I am, and I will not stand for that as a parent myself. And I will not stand for that as a person who's 100% side by side, even in front of the Constitution, be that I support the Constitution and I support what Old Glory stands for, that flaps out in outside of our doors every day of our lives, no matter where the fuck we are at. Those who do the negative are going against the Constitution. The feminist movement of today is going against the Constitution by trying to force shit that's illogical and that is not a positive to the human race, regardless of the gender. The Me Too movement is trying to force shit down people's throats, mainly women, as well as trying to do it to young men, teenage men, as well to start with. Thereby, also that right there, that's a positive for the Mgtow manosphere, isn't it? Logically, for the Mgtow manosphere, the Mgtow aspect, in with the feminist movement doing that, as I said, and this is also psychologically speaking here, okay? That the feminist movement and the Me Too movement doing that unconstitutional movement, even against the teenage men as well as the women, and the women and the women and men in their 20s and 30s and what have you else, even the men that are within my age bracket and and the ones even before my age bracket, even the ones that are in the age bracket of their, shall we say, adolescence. You're going against the Constitution, feminist and Me Too movement. Even in the educational field, you're going against the Constitution by thinking it's okay for the child to be educated on the feminist movement and trying to act all pretty it up and shit, just like the fucking Democrats are trying to decorate in a beautiful fucking viewing of the socialism bullshit. And I've said it in my CRPHA humanitarian advocate videos that the socialism is not a positive thing. Socialism is what the base of what the Jews were dealing with even before WW2 even fucking went into fruition. Do you want the same thing to happen to this country? Feminist movement, do you want the same thing to happen to this country? Then if you don't, I'd vote Trump. Don't follow the fucking liberal socialist Democrat bullshit. Because the Democrats have lost their fucking way. Even by trying to pretty up the fucking base of socialism is so beautiful. Socialism is all free, and you'll be able to do anything as long as you do it what we want you to do. That's the only thing that Democrats are not telling the American people. As long as you do what the Democrats want you to do, that's the only time socialism is the fucking flower field of the fucking century. And yet, if those who go against it, they'll be put in concentration camps. If you ask any fucking liberal socialist jackass Democrat, they'll deny it and lie through their fucking teeth right in front of your face. Because they don't want you to know the truth, and they're afraid that if you know the damn truth, then you won't support the Democrats. Oh boy, what a shame. If we tell the American people the truth about socialism, which is a bad viewing really in reality, we won't be supported. That's fucking the Democrats' viewing and thought right there. Many of you people do not realize that now, do you? And yet, on top of that, if those who support the Democrats are not willing to see that reality, that's speaking really, really more than strongly logical and factual and realistic. The basic fact is that judge not and ye will be judged to many women when it comes to men and men when it comes to many women. But Mgtow doesn't judge. We tell it by our experiences. Even from what we've seen our friends and family members go through and have gone through. That there's a lot to think about now, isn't it? Now, I know that many people will think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I just tell it how I know it to be. As the old saying goes, I tell it how I see it. Accept me for it or not. I don't care. Believe the truths of what I say and the logic, even in the logical psychiatry aspect of what I say, especially when it comes to Mgtow and the feminist movement and the Me Too movement and many other things to it as well, especially the educational aspects of things. And when it comes to the Constitution, whatnot else, right? Believe me, I don't care if you do or do not. But the basic fact is, it'll help you if you do. It may hurt you if you don't, and it won't be because of me. It'll be because of your own choice. Your own ways of thinking could easily hurt, but at the same time, they could easily help. You could use meaning you could use a person that you heard on the video, such as this one, and use your own ways of thinking as well as what you heard on the video. Maybe even it doesn't matter what percentage. There's a logical psychiatry aspect of it, and eventually you will find that what a person like myself has said. And believe me, I know I've made many other videos of logical psychiatry as well as Mgtow, and you'll see that I'm right. And when it comes to Mgtow, you'll see that many other Mgtow members are right. Think about it. Now, this video might be covered with a different cover if it's not covered with half and half. Of course, that's my choice, isn't it? But it may be labeled as such, even if it only shows one cover. Think about it. Always know that. Just because it doesn't show half and half doesn't mean it won't have the topics I mentioned in it. Because I speak the truth. Whether you know me or believe me or not, I don't care if you don't believe me. And if you don't want to know me, fine. That's your right and that's your choice. But the basic fact is, those who do know me know I would never lie to people. Those who began to know me are realizing I would never lie to a person, no matter who they are. If I feel a certain way, believe me, I'm going to tell you straight up. If I don't feel a certain way or even agree with various things, believe me, I'm going to tell you straight up. If I know certain things, even in the psychological aspect of things and whatnot, I'm going to tell you straight up. If I believe things are logical and not realistic and not sinful, or if they are sinful essentially, believe me, I'm going to tell you straight up. This is logical psychiatry in support of the Mgtow manosphere and as well as support of Donald J. Trump. Vote for Trump if you want. If you don't want socialism and if you don't want concentration camp type of socialism, in which basically, in why the liberal Democrats are trying to pretty up socialism when socialism is not, is dreary and dark as shit, darker than shit essentially. You've seen the way the Undertaker on the WWE comes through. He comes in through at times when it's pitch black, doesn't he? Now picture socialism that way. Even though the sky will be blue possibly on this planet, while in the socialism attributes. But know this: the current constitution will be torn up and only written in the socialist democrat way of and agreeable things. It won't matter what the American people want. It will not matter what you American people want. It won't even matter what me or anybody else in the Mgtow manosphere or even in the advocate aspects want. Think about that. And when you realize that I'm damn fucking telling the straight freaking truth, believe me, you'll vote for Trump. I am. I'm voting for Trump, and I know many people who are as well voting for Trump. Have a good day.